7 Factors of Enlightenment meditation. So we go with a discourse. Those bhikkhus who are accomplished in virtue, accomplished in concentration, accomplished in wisdom, accomplished in liberation, accomplished in the knowledge and vision of liberation, even the sight of those bhikkhus is helpful. I say even listening to them, even approaching them, even attending to them, even recollecting them, even going forth after them is helpful. I say for what reason? Because when one has heard the Dhamma from such bhikkhus, one dwells withdrawn by the way of 2 kinds of withdrawal. Withdrawal of body and withdrawal of mind. Dwelling thus withdrawn, one recollects that Dhamma and thinks it over. Whenever bhikkhu dwelling thus withdrawn recollects that Dhamma and thinks it over, on that occasion the enlightenment factor of mindfulness is aroused by the bhikkhu. On that occasion, the bhikkhu develops the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness comes to fulfillment by development in the bhikkhu. So, when we recollect the Dhamma, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness comes to arise. We think it over. Having heard the Dhamma, we think it over. Now, what we were discussing over here is that now we discuss about the death. We contemplate about the death. We think it over about the death. When we think it over about the death, then we actually see that in this diagram, the sanskara, the death is written just underneath the volitional formation. Sanskara. So this sanskara you can see that that sanskara, now you are saying, whatever the verbal formations I have, they are dying. Therefore, whatever the consciousness thus constructed is also dying. Now the death, when we say death, it is not the death of the body. It is death of the consciousness. Because you can actually touch that body and the body is remaining there after death. Right? Until you bury it or cremation or whatever thing it is. But you can see the consciousness is no longer there. So the sanskara, dying of sanskara means dying of consciousness. Now, we have this impermanent of all the formations. Sabbha sankaresu anicca sanya. Impermanence in all the formations. As we discussed, that this physical nutriment, there is some form and there is this I. And then the form contacted by the I, so the I consciousness come to arise. The meeting of the 3 is contact. Depending on the contact, there is a feeling. That feeling is agreeable, disagreeable, both agreeable and disagreeable. So these are the 3 kind of feeling. Now, a bhikkhu would is repelled about this conscious, the agreeable thing, or humiliated and disgusted by those things, both agreeable, disagreeable, and both agreeable and disagreeable. Those are the things that arose. And he is disgusted about these things. So you can see that is the impermanence of all formations. So here we are talking about the bodily formations. We first discussed that the death is the bodily formation. And I am disgusted about that one. And so I am repelled by that one. And I'm humiliated by my verbal formations, the lying, harsh speech, frivolous talk, slander, and even killing, stealing, sexual misconduct that I do. I'm humiliated by those things. And I'm disgusted by those things that, you see, it's in this diagram you can see, the eye contact, that particular form, the feeling arose, and then we perceive that one from the perception. So this perception is the one actually letting these mental constructions, mano sanskar, chitta sanskar, the mind, whatever thing constructed from the mind. So I am saying now, I don't want them. Like a carpenter who would use some sort of a piece of wood to construct a table or something. By the time he touched that wood, he actually see this wood has got some sort of a defect. It's either bent or those things inside that. The wood is not perfect, right? So you are not happy with that wood. But if you think, all the woods are like that. There's no perfect wood for someone to construct. So you cannot have a perfect perception. The perception is the building block over here. And you construct the table. Having constructed, now he sees, a good carpenter would see, well, there is a defect. Because he knows that there is a defect in that leg or the table, whatever the places. So he apply polish and clean it, all those things, to hide all those things. But still he knows, like that one, by defect, by birth, this body, whoever it is, it has the defect. Because of the dosa, that the hate that we have the defect body. By birth it is like that one. No perfect body. So there is no perfect thing. So we have a wrong perception, well, there is something, beautiful, something good. But as soon as you actually see it properly, if you say a beautiful woman or someone, and you can see what is inside her body is this saliva, snot, the excrement, urine, and then, all the problems comes up. Whether the man or a woman or a child, does not matter. It's the same. So it was built with a defect. It's just a defect comes out. If you understand that one, then you apply that perception to the body, and you can see the death is imminent for that, because that wood piece is bad, then one day it will fall from that one. My craftsmanship is bad. It is. Likewise, the volitional formation is the one constructing this consciousness. And it's subject to this falling. This is impermanent nature. So if you apply the impermanent nature, that is, you are applying the death. You are looking at the death, you can see the impermanent nature. So if you start with that one, Buddha said, then the mindfulness come to arise. Now, dwelling thus mindfully, he discriminates that Dhamma with wisdom. Now he is investigating with wisdom. He knows that the carpenter knows that this part is bad. Oh, the wood pieces that other wood pieces or nails he used, they are bad. He knows that they are rotten and sort of thing. Examine it, makes an investigation of it. Whenever bhikkhu or bhikkhu dwelling thus mindfully discriminate that Dhamma with wisdom, examines it, make an investigation of it. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of discrimination of states is aroused by the bhikkhu. On that occasion, the bhikkhu develops the enlightenment factor of discrimination of states. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of discrimination of states comes to fulfillment by development in the bhikkhu. So the second factor.
What is the state of discrimination? Factor of discrimination state?
Yeah, that is this, that the first one is the sati, mindfulness, and the dhamma vichaya. Yeah, investigation of truth. That's the dhamma vichaya. Investigation of dhamma. Yeah.
What is discrimination?
Yeah, discrimination of states. Sometimes translated as discrimination of states. So you can see we were looking at it in that wise way. We are looking at these things, all of these things here are constructed by my own clinging to this material thing over here. That's where it started. There's a edible food, a nice person, loving woman or someone. So because of that one, I went through this one. I was actually lying. I was saying, she is so beautiful, and by the time I'm saying that one and it is mine, well, when I say mine, that means I'm lying, because it's not yours. So that's the starting point. So all these are wrong things. And so you can see the consequences are there. So if I stop this one somehow using my perception, if I apply impermanent nature, well, then I don't have these things. So I can have the cessation of that one. And then Buddha said, while he discriminates that Dhamma with wisdom, examines it, makes an investigation of it, his energy is aroused without slackening. Whenever bhikkhu energy is aroused without slackening, as he discriminates that Dhamma with wisdom, examines it, makes an investigation of it, on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of energy, or you can say effort, this is virya in Pali, is aroused by the bhikkhu. On that occasion, he develops this enlightenment factor of enlightenment factor of effort. On that occasion, enlightenment factor of effort come to fulfillment by development in that bhikkhu. So you can see actually, so first we are talking about the mindfulness. Mindfulness is over here, in between this contact as nutriment and perception. And the effort is between the physical nutriment and then the contact as nutriment. So it's in between the first two. So the effort come to arise over here. So what I'm trying to do over here, I'm not letting anything coming into my mind. I don't want them. I know it's troublesome. I don't want this physical nutriment. It is bad for me. I know it's a disgusting thing. And one day it will kill me as well if I'm grasping it. So that's the third one. So Buddha said that when his energy is aroused, there arises in him spiritual rapture. Whenever bhikkhu spiritual rapture arises in bhikkhu whose energy is aroused, on that occasion enlightenment factor of rapture is aroused by the bhikkhu. On that occasion bhikkhu develops the enlightenment factor of rapture. So priti sambojjanga. Priti is coming to arise because if you contemplate that these 32 parts of the body, about this body, and if you contemplate about the death of that thing, then your mind becomes vast, so expanded, and then you get the rapture because of that one. Because we are holding to this useless thing, and our mind is bound to that one. That's why we can't have rapture. If you are getting out of that one, you have the rapture. You're contemplating about the impermanent nature. So contemplating about the death means also impermanent nature. For one whose mind is uplifted by rapture, the body becomes tranquil and the mind becomes tranquil. When you are bhikkhu, the body becomes tranquil and the mind becomes tranquil. In a bhikkhu whose mind is uplifted by rapture, on that occasion the enlightenment factor of tranquility is aroused by the bhikkhu. On that occasion bhikkhu develops the enlightenment factor of tranquility. On that occasion the enlightenment factor of tranquility comes to fulfillment by development in the bhikkhu. So the tranquility is the tranquility of the mind and the tranquility of the mental states. So we were talking about the mental states over here. You can see there is a derogation over here, and then there is.
What is the main derogation?
Derogation is you are trying to take away from. Let's say you are in an office, you are working, and you didn't get the promotion. The other person got the promotion. So now you are saying you are jealous about that person, and then you are saying that I am the one who deserves that one, not you. So you are trying to take away from him or she, whatever the things, the panel actually decided that this person is more suitable. It's not the qualification, maybe other things. So derogation is...
Jealousy is this...
Jealousy led to that one. Your jealousy led to this condition. But now you are performing your actions that I want to tell others, this person is not suitable. So you are taking away from that person. Yeah. And then the disparaging, palaso, that means you are actually trying to separate one person from another person. Let's say you have a friend, and your friend got another friend. You don't like that friend, because his or her mouth is not good or something. Maybe the speech is not good for you. And then I don't want that person. I can't go to a party with that person, right? So I want to separate that one. So it's a lot deeper than that one. And so it's 5 kinds. So that is this palaso. And so I don't have the mental tranquility if I have those things. You see that I am trying to perform certain verbal actions as well, depending on that one. The jealousy is another one, envy. And then stinginess, whatever stinginess I have, is also the same. So the tranquility means I don't have those things. I'm not jealous inside at that time of meditation. I'm not angry. I'm not. I don't have the covetousness. Those bad ones are not there. And I don't have this vitakka vichala, initial application, sustained application for musava, the lying, harsh speech, frivolous talk and slander. So my mind is tranquil state now. My mind is happy, it's smooth running engine. And then Buddha said, so remember the condition for that, the tranquility is the rapture. If you are happy, only if you are happy internally, you are not doing. In the office also, you are promoted, that the other person is promoted, you are congratulating each other. Right? So because you are happy as well. If you are not happy, then you are not doing that one. So similarly, mentally, you are happy. Since you are happy, you have the tranquility. You don't care about the discriminations in the world. You are caring about your happiness at that time. So there is a tranquility. For one whose body is tranquil and who is happy, the mind becomes concentrated. When you are bhikkhu, the mind becomes concentrated in a bhikkhu whose body is tranquil and who is happy. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of concentration is aroused by the bhikkhu. On that occasion, the bhikkhu develops the enlightenment factor of concentration. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of concentration comes to fulfillment by development in the bhikkhu. So it's coming to the development. That's the development over here. In a sense, you are stopping this whole machine. Your mind is not spinning any of these wheels. You can stop it so that you have a perfect concentration, fine-tuned engine at that time. He closely looked at the equanimity at the mind, thus concentrated. Whenever bhikkhu closely looks on with the equanimity at the mind, thus concentrated, on that occasion the enlightenment factor of equanimity is aroused by the bhikkhu. On that occasion the bhikkhu develops the enlightenment factor of equanimity. On that occasion the enlightenment factor of equanimity comes to fulfillment by development in the bhikkhu. So these are the 7 factors of enlightenment. So equanimity level, you can see we started with the death here. So I have the concentration now. I'm rapturous, I'm actually coming from this side now. Because when you are actually good at this diagram, you contemplate the impermanent nature, then you get something called Chanda Samadhi over here. That is the concentration due to desire to escape from this one, right? So when you get the concentration, you get a particular problem here. This is, you can see the restlessness is somewhere here. And you can have the restlessness to a certain extent because I want to become enlightened. I want to do this concentration, which is rapturous. Shall I stay here or shall I do the contemplation, right? That can happen. But when you go through this part from the bottom line, looking at all the impermanent things over here, and then you see the consciousness is failing all the time because we contemplated about the death. So you know your consciousness, you know how that this concentration is constructed. What you do not know is how it is dying. But since you are contemplating the death, you know, well, that table I constructed, when you are traveling, you see that carpenter see that my table is broken. Other tables are broken. You see dead bodies. As you can see dead bodies, then you know my consciousness is such and such. So when you see that this death, you can see, then you are actually not spinning these wheels anymore. You don't want to spin that one. So you don't want to construct the consciousness from the volitional formation. If you are not constructing the consciousness, then you are actually fed up with your chitta sanskara, the things that are constructed from your mental things, mental constructions, you are fed up with that one. So you are not giving any value to that one. If you are not giving any value, then you are not giving a value to the mental volition. If you are not giving value to the mental volition and to the perception, this sanskar, we are talking about the perception-based volitional formations. I am not giving any value to the perception-based things. That, like the carpenter is not giving any value to wood pieces. So previously, having seen a wood piece, he plan, I can construct a table, I can construct a house, so and so. Now he's saying, I don't want these wood pieces. Like I don't want this perception. So you are getting out of these perceptions. And since you are getting out of these perceptions, you are not giving any value to the feeling that has arisen. So I am not giving a value to the feeling. So you can see that if you are not giving a value to the feeling, what will happen? You don't have the craving. Because you give a value to the feeling, that's why you have the craving. If you are not giving a value, then you don't have the craving. So that leads to cessation of craving. And if it leads to the cessation of craving, that means it leads to cessation of mental volition, the karma. So you can see the whole thing can be stopped in that way because of the equanimity. So you can see this meditation is very deep. Those who have done from the beginning to the end, you can understand what it is. So the 7 factors of enlightenment works in this way. It's a great dharma, if you can remember. the thing. So basically this is the meditation. We see the arising, how these things come to arise. We know this is the culprit over here, that the physical nutriment that created this particular thing. So you know the arising, how it is coming to arise, and you know the cessation. If you contemplate about the death, the whole thing go in the reverse process. Then you go from this side to that side. Rather you were earlier going from the physical nutriment to feeling and the perception, and you are spinning this side about the consciousness. Now you are saying, I don't want any of these things. You are going the other way around. I see all the bad things, which is written in blue in the diagram below, and I'm saying that I don't want these things. My perception, for example, you can see, I'm saying I'm sick of it. The sickness. You can see the second arrow, second red line, end of it is actually sickness. You consider perception as a sickness. It's an optical illusion as well. And it's not self. It's not mine. So by applying that one, then you are actually completing the diagram, and you are coming back to where you started. And you start from here, going to the left, go down and go. Whole diagram is complete on that level. So we will do this meditation for 25 minutes.